Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stressful Frog, and this is my road to Red Rank. Now, as stated in the previous videos, I am doing this road with Legion and the star of the next couple videos, the Doctor. His unique abilities are as follows. Successfully striking survivors with either shock therapy and static blast increases their madness and eventually afflicts them with the madness status effect and triggering increasingly potent effects. At Madness 1, it causes the survivors to scream once, revealing their location to the Doctor, and it slightly increases their chance to trigger a Madness skill check, 33%. Madness 2 causes the survivors to scream once, revealing their location to the Doctor, also causes the survivors to experience hallucinations in the form of an illusionary Doctor, and gives them a moderate chance to trigger a Madness skill check, namely 66%. At Madness 3, it causes the survivors to scream intermittently, revealing their location to the Doctor, causes the survivors to experience hallucinations in the form of the illusionary Doctor. It disables the survivor's ability to perform any repairing, healing, sabotaging, searching, or cleansing interactions until they successfully snap out of it. There's a tremendous chance to trigger a Madness skill check, namely 100% during snap out of it, and succeeding snap out of it will return the survivors back to Madness 1. Now, his special ability is Shock Therapy. When you press and hold the power button to perform Shock Therapy, it unleashes a ranged shock attack on the ground in front of the Doctor. Survivors struck by Shock Therapy gain increased madness, and any interactions they are performing are immediately cancelled and put on a cooldown for 2.5 seconds. Shock Therapy immediately negates the Oblivious status effect. His special ability is Static Blast. When you press and hold the active ability button to perform a Static Blast, it causes all survivors within the Doctor's terror radius to scream. Survivors struck by Static Blast gain 1 Madness tier, and any interactions they are performing are immediately cancelled. Static Blast can only be activated when not on cooldown, and it has a 60-second cooldown. Now, these matches went really, really well. The Doctor felt really good to play, and we got a really good return on our perks, as you'll see. Speaking of which, the build used for these matches are as follows. And on a side note, these games were recorded before the 6.1 patch came out, so the perks, although almost the same, have had some slight changes since then. The first one is Overcharge, and as you can see on the screen, this is the 6.1. But when I did this, the next survivor interacting with the generator is faced with a tremendously difficult skill check. Failing the skill check results in an additional 5% at perk level 3 generator regression. Succeeding the skill check grants no progress but prevents the generator explosion. Added in 6.1, after that it increases the generator's regression speed from 75 to 200% over the next 30 seconds. The next perk that we use is Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. So the auras of Scourge Hooks are revealed to you in white. Each time a survivor is hooked on a Scourge Hook, the following effect applies. The generator with the most progression explodes, instantly losing 15% of its progression and starting to regress. Survivors repairing that generator will scream, revealing their location. Now, removed in 6.1, the generator now sparks instead of exploding, and survivors repairing the generator no longer scream, revealing their location. The third perk we went for is Pop Goes the Weasel. After hooking a survivor, Pop Goes the Weasel activates for the next 45 seconds. The next generator you damage instantly loses 25% progression. Regular generator regression applies afterwards, and Pop Goes the Weasel deactivates. Changed in 6.1, the next generator you damage instantly loses 20%, and that is down from 25%. And the last perk that we use is Barbecue and Chili. After hooking a survivor, all survivors who are further than 40 meters away from that hook have their aura revealed for 4 seconds. Each time a survivor is hooked for the first time, you gain a 25% stackable bonus to all blood point gains up to a maximum of 100%. Now, as of 6.1, the blood point gains have been removed. The two add-ons that I used for these matches, the first one is the Iridescent King. So survivors with madness suffer from all available afflictions: calm, discipline, order, and restraint. Survivors will intermittently hear a distant illusionary terror radius. During a chase, survivors perceive an illusionary red stain and terror radius as though the doctor were directly behind them, which actually helps us find a survivor a couple times in one of the matches. This effect persists for 6 seconds after the chase ends in Madness 2, and is constantly active in Madness 3. Broken pallets have a chance to become replaced with illusionary pallets that persist until approached. Every 20 seconds, a new illusionary pallet is generated at the location of a random broken pallet. It also increases the illusionary doctor duration by 6 seconds. Now, the doctor also sees the various afflictions, including the auras of the illusionary pallets and the doctors. The second add-on that we use is Restraint Carter's Notes. So when a survivor's madness increases a tier, their aura is revealed for 3 seconds. And the survivors with madness suffer from affliction of restraint. It increases the illusionary doctor duration by an additional 6 seconds. And again, the doctor shares in his patient's madness in order to see the illusionary doctors. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, I hope you enjoy the matches, and on to the gameplay. Okay, Macmillan Estate. So this match turned out really, really good. Now, usually what I like to do with the doctor is I like to go to a spot where there's, multiple generators within range of my terror radius, and I like to use Static Blast to see if there's anybody around. Now, this didn't find anybody, but we were alerted to a survivor over here. And you can see the Fang right here. So I do manage to get a hit on her. Now, this Fang runs me around a bit. Usually what you'll want to try to do with the doctors, you want to try to use your shock therapy before they drop pallets or vault these walls and stuff, because it'll stop them for 2.5 seconds. But what this particular survivor was doing is pre-dropping the pallets, which is usually a good strategy to do, because it stalls for time. I have to break the pallet, or it makes me go around and create some distance. Now, I used my Static Blast again to increase all the madness levels, and it actually revealed 2 more survivors, and I did see her go into this particular locker, which is why I grabbed her. Now, this game, Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance, and Barbecue and Chili were the true MVPs. As you'll see as the match goes on, they actually don't complete any of the generators at all. Now, increasing their madness levels causes the illusionary doctors, like this one here, and the 4 of them were actually all together trying to heal the 1 survivor. So I managed to get a hit off on the Michaela before she ran away. And I believe this is the second Fang. So I do manage to get her down and hooked whenever I can find her to pick her up. On a Scourge Hook again, and there's the generator explosion. Now, there's a couple times when I hooked them on the Scourge Hooks that I go back to the generator that exploded to see if there's if there were any survivors around that may have tapped the gen to stop the regression from it. But this one here, we just used our Pop Goes the Weasel on that one. There was a good Static Blast. Now, when you use the Static Blast, their madness level increases, so it's really good to try and do that as often as possible. I could have hit the Fang there and downed her, but you know what? I don't want to be the cheesy tunneling killer, so I decided to hit the Nia instead and chase her down. Now, I missed with the shock therapy a couple of times. Still trying to judge the distance on that one too, but I do eventually manage to down her, and of course, Scourge Hook. And there goes a generator again. Now, the illusionary doctor reveals another survivor to us. Try to preemptively shock here, and don't get anything, but the screams from madness turning up revealed another survivor. Now she went for the save here, and rather than take the Nia down again, I decided to chase after the other Fang. And the illusionary doctors letting me know where everything is. Now you can see the white pallet there, which is an illusionary pallet. This also happens when their madness levels increases, which was really good for me because there's a couple of times where they try to go for the pallet and then it's not there. I can see them, they see them as real pallets, so that's when you hit them and take them down. Now, a swing and a miss here on the Nia Carlson. It wouldn't be a typical Stressful Frog game if we didn't have a swing and a miss, but I do manage to get her down as well. And on a Scourge Hook. And there's the barbecue and chili and the pain resonance value. So this is what I meant now. I still have my Pop Goes the Weasel, and they actually tap this generator. So I'm going to use Pop Goes the Weasel on that generator. Pick up this Fang. And I get to put her on, yep, another Scourge Hook. These Scourge Hooks and, like, Pop Goes the Weasels, they've been doing a lot of work putting these down, these generators. Managed to get a hit on the Michaela here. I believe I chase her down and hook her. After a missed shock therapy. But that's okay. They're not really doing any gens right now. The Scourge Hook and the Pop Goes the Weasel has just been value city for me. Now, there was a couple of them that screamed at the same time. This poor Fang. He just turns around and there I am. I believe this is her last hook as well. Yeah, which was also a Scourge Hook. So there's the other Scourge Hook value. The generator popped and we got to see the screams of the survivor that was there. There's the Static Blast ability, which was really good. Showed me where all three survivors are. And Static Blast is usually a good ability to use too if you're just trying to find survivors. I do that a lot. I use it to try and find where they're at. Now I know there was a survivor around here, so I look around a bit and eventually I do find her. And she ran right through the illusionary pallet there. She messed up. I do manage to get her and put her on a Scourge Hook. And they haven't been working on any generators because none of the generators popped. So Scourge Hook and Pop Goes the Weasel have been doing a lot of work. So they did manage to get the save while I was chasing the Michaela, which is fine. I've got no generators done, so I'm not worried one bit about anything right now. The Nia kind of gave me a bit of a runaround there, but the illusionary doctors and the static blast kind of revealed where they were. So, and there was the red stain. You could see that through the wall as well. So I do manage to, I believe I managed to down her here after the swing and miss, of course. And if I'm not mistaken, this was her third hook as well. Yeah, so she's the second one out of the game. And of course, the Scourge Hook revealed the next survivor and the generator they were working on. So we're actually going to hit this, get some Pop Goes the Weasel value. And at this point, I'm pretty sure she just gave up because she literally just stands there and lets me take her down. I mean, really, at this point, the match is pretty much over. Now that was her third hook in the basement. And I think we luck out on this one and we find the hatch fairly quickly. And we get to close it. Now all we gotta do is find her and hook her and we're good to go. Basically just camp the two doors. She eventually went to one and chased her down and hooked her up and ended the match. So this was really, really good. They didn't get any generators done. Scourge Hook and Pop Goes the Weasel did a lot of work. This was a great first match. The second one turned out just as good. It also lasted a little bit longer than this one did. I found this one went pretty quickly. And there's the last one. Time was running out for her, so I'm pretty sure she just decided to just end it there. So yeah, this was a great first match. Very, very happy with how this turned out. And now, on to the next one. Alright, we have the Garden of Joy, the Withered Isle. I've actually never played on this map before. This is my first time. I think this is the map that was introduced with a dredge. So we're going to do our typical thing, go towards some generators, static blast. Now this one ended up finding one. So we start chasing after this Kate. And she does give us a bit of the runaround at the start. Managed to hit her here with the shock therapy. And she does the same thing the other survivor did in the previous match. She's just pre-dropping the pallets. Now she actually took me to this generator, and there were 3 other survivors around here. So I decided to give up chase on her for now. Right here. And I'm going to go after the other survivors, try and get their madness level up. Now, they really wanted this generator. Seems like every time I'd hit them, or they'd always just come back and try and get this one done. So I do focus the first little bit of the match right around here. No Pop Goes the Weasel on it, but we do get an overcharge on it, so... And the static blast there got to increase the madness level on this Kate. I get the hit on her here. And she runs off in the other direction. I'm coming back here because they've been trying to get this thing finished, so I'm just checking to make sure there's nobody around. Now, her screams and the illusionary doctor basically let me know where she's at, which is fantastic for the doctor. It's a great ability. Now there you see I hit her before she could vault, and because I hit her with the shock therapy, she wasn't able to vault. It stopped her from doing any actions for 2.5 seconds. Now I didn't realize she had boil over here, and I got real greedy for that scourge hook. So I almost make it to the hook, and she manages to get off. That's alright though. We're the doctor. We can chase after her. And once again, right there. She dropped the pallet preemptively, but I went around the other corner, hit her with the shock therapy, and she wasn't able to vault. This time we got her on the scourge hook. Which tells me there's another survivor over there. And then there was barbecue and chili on the other end too, but... Static blast here increases the madness level. We get some good Pop Goes the Weasel value on that gen. We hit the Jill. Get her madness level up a couple times, which was really good. Now I actually hit her with the shock here and stops her from dropping the pallet, but I actually got stuck on the way up, so she was still able to drop it anyway. Had I not gotten stuck, that would have been an insta down. Now this Kate, unfortunately for her, just came right out of the door as I was chasing after the Jill, so get another down on her right next to the scourge hook. So there's another hit. Barbecue and chili tells us there's somebody all the way down there. I think this is the Leon. think it was Leon that was on this. They went for the save while I was over there, so Static Blast reveals the two of them. And it was actually the Fang, not the Leon. So I do manage to get a hit off on her. Forget if yeah, I do down her here. And again, I get to down her close to the Scourge Hook. More Scourge Hook value. Now, we just saw him go into a locker, which is why I went and grabbed him right away. No Scourge Hooks around here, though, so we're going to have to be happy with a regular hook. There's the save on the Fang. And as you can see, the doctor tells me exactly where they're at. Now, they were just out of my radius for the Static Blast, but that's fine. We'll get some Pop Goes the Weasel value on the way over. And they managed to get, she manages to get the heal off completely there just as I get there. So I'm trying not to go for the Leon here, I'm going for the Jill, but this guy, Leon, clearly wants my attention. So I drop the Jill, and of course, well, you know what? There you go, bud. You wanted my attention? Well, you got it. I'm trying not to tunnel you, but sometimes they just won't stop. Now, they do manage to pick him up here, which is good. Prolongs the game a bit, gives them more blood points, gives me more blood points for chasing them. He didn't get far, unfortunately. Thought maybe that I was going to go for the Kate instead, but no. I decided to try and go for the other ones first, because the Kate usually gives me the runaround, so. Now the doctor here showed me that there was somebody around, and the Static Blast showed me exactly where they're at. Tried to get the pallet drop, which she didn't get. Now I waited here, and I swung and missed, and then she stunned me, but if I had done it at the right time, I could have gotten her. But she takes me for a bit for a loop around here. She does use up quite a few of the pallets. She is trying to create some separation, but at the same time, I'm not breaking any of the pallets, so she does loop me for a little bit here. But unlike all the previous games, after a little while, I decide not to continue. I actually abandon chase. Not before I get a hit on her, though. The big thing with the doctor, too, is trying to preemptively think of where they're going to go. If I had properly seen that, I could have shocked her before she went for the vault. I decided to break the pallet here, because she could probably just loot me for a while. They do manage to complete, I think it's like 2 or 3 gens completely in this match, but other than that, I think I get her down here soon. Clear out this pallet for later. Yeah, she double backs for something. Get her right there. Had she dropped the pallet, probably would have stalled me for a little bit longer, but that's alright. We got some Scourge Hook value here, and she was the first one out. So they do complete the third one, but the Static Blast, I think, hit all 3. And we decide to chase after this one. Managed to hit the Jill here. And down she goes. Great thing about the Scourge Hooks too is that when there's only 1 or 2 gens left, if you can manage to hook people, you can really stop them from just building up. There's the Madness Screams, and the Illusionary Doctors tell me exactly where she's at. And this is one of the instances where the red stain really came in handy. Red stain on them makes it look like the doctor's right behind them, and if they try to hide, you can see the stain out of the corners, or you can see the stain on the ground. See, I'm spending a bit of time looking for her, but I just saw the red stain there. And you can see it through the wall. And down she goes. I don't know what the Leon was doing up there, or what the survivor was doing up there. I don't know if they were trying to get my attention or whatnot, but I'm going in that direction anyway. Now I get greedy for the Scourge Hook here, again. And she drops off, but she doesn't make it very far. She tries to go for the vault, and then I stall her. She went, she was gonna go for the double vault, but I stalled her. And now I get the Scourge Hook. Now I go up here to see who's going on in this, like what's going on in this house. And as I did that, he dropped down and went for the save. Now unfortunately, she went the wrong way. Basically just dropped down on her. Sorry about this, Miss Fang. Back onto the Jill. Get a bit of a hit here. Chase after her, but there's a lot of the pallets that have been downed and destroyed. Now this area, I think she was trying to give me a loop, but the problem is the Kate actually took everything down pretty much, and I destroyed half the pallets, so got her down and up on a hook. And now it's just down to the Leon. And thanks to Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, I know he's in that general area. Tried to hide in a locker, but that didn't work. Guess he was going to try and finish a generator for some reason, but unfortunately for him, didn't work out quite so well. So this match was pretty good too. They got 3 generators done, but I did get all the hooks and I got a 4K, so all in all, these 2 matches were fantastic. And I believe the next 2 doctor matches go pretty much just as good as well, so. So yeah, I was very, very happy with the way these matches turned out. Definitely turned out a lot better than the Legion matches did, but I mean, we learned a lot from the Legion matches. We didn't make as many of the silly mistakes. There's still some things we have to work on, like our swing and miss and our distancing for powers and attacks and stuff, but all in all, it was really good. Also, these 2 matches, because they went so well, actually propelled us into bronze. So we are 1 step closer to achieving red rank, and we're only going to keep going up from here. So until the next games, Stressful Frog out.